introduce Kristen and the weather.
Yeah, I would rather have a cherry popsicle, but that's just me. And especially this afternoon with those 100s in our forecast. Right now, though, this is about the coolest part of the day. Temperatures in the upper 70s, lower 80s, though it feels closer to 90 degrees outside right now. Again, coolest part of the day. Here's a look at Futurecast for this afternoon. As the sea breeze makes its way inland, we could see a couple of stray to isolated showers as that pushes further inland. Otherwise, most folks staying hot and dry. We could potentially set a record high temperature here in Corpus Christi today at 101. Previous record is 100 degrees. So we'll see how that goes. Either way, it's going to be hot. Into tomorrow morning, temperatures back in the upper 70s. So another warm and muggy overnight and another hot afternoon. We will see a little bit more cloud cover for your Monday with another chance for a stray shower, but with that cloud cover comes slightly cooler temperatures. Not cool by any means, but cooler than we are today in the upper 90s. So a great day to head out to the beach either today or tomorrow. Temperatures right at the coast staying in the lower 90s with waves at 1 to 2 feet. However, as we head further into this week, we are going to see that wave forecast go up, and I'll get to that just in a minute. Here's a look at the marine forecast today. Winds 5 to 15 knots with gusts up to 20. Slight chop with those lower waves, but again, as we head further into this week and that disturbance gets closer, especially into Tuesday, we'll be seeing waves up to 10 feet. And not only that, we're also seeing the wave period, or the time in between the waves breaking, that is going to go up as well. So with that, we are going to see most likely some red flags issued here on our beaches, which is for hazardous conditions and high rip current risk. So make sure that if you do decide to tackle those waves, I'm not your mom, but be careful out in the water if you do decide to go surfing with these waves. Here's a look at our tropical overview right now. The tropics definitely waking up as we near the peak of hurricane season. Multiple areas of interest to invest, though the one that we are focused on has not been called an invest yet, though it is expected to potentially develop as we head into this coming week. 50% chance of development over the next week, and new this morning a 30% chance of development over the next 2 days. So that's up from the 10% we saw yesterday evening. Now this is going to track westward pretty much across the Gulf of Mexico as this high pressure shifts to the north just enough for it to continue across here. It's not going to be fighting too much in terms of wind shear. That's not to say there's none. You can see a little bit right here, and there's also a little Saharan dust in the Gulf as well that will be entrained or sucked in to this system. So that would be the mitigating factors. However, it does have some really warm waters to feed off of. So I do expect a little bit of strengthening into potentially a tropical depression, maybe at most a weak tropical storm, but it's expected again to be on the lower side of that. Here's a look at that NHC outlook and where that lies again. So let's push this forward. Again, here's what that forecast and radar could look like heading into Tuesday morning. I'm expecting rain chances to really go up after midnight on Tuesday. So that is going to be the best chance for rain is Tuesday morning. You can see we're going to be on the northern side where all of that rain is wrapping around. So we're going to see some nice beneficial rainfall for us here in the coastal bend. However, high pressure does take back over and we dry back out and heat right back up heading into the later part of this weekend, which though is great news for Friday night football for high school. Here's a look at those rain chances broken down. You can see Monday night into Tuesday is when we're going to see that best chance for rain. And here's a look at what the rainfall could look like. I do think right where, you know, those rain bands were coming around the center of that I showed you and pointed out, that's where we're going to be seeing those higher rainfall totals. So pretty much towards our southern counties, but I do expect most folks to receive anywhere between 1 to 2 inches, though we could see some higher localized totals. I don't think we're going to see too much in terms of a flooding risk, but the rainfall is going to be heavy because of its tropical nature. So maybe if you're in an urbanized area with poor drainage, maybe you could see some localized street flooding. Otherwise, our main other risk is going to just be those wave heights into Tuesday morning and afternoon. Otherwise, winds are going to remain probably around tropical storm force gusts. So we may see a tropical storm watch issued for that, but otherwise, it's just going to be a nice rainmaker for us here in the coastal bend and relieve us from this heat that we're going to experience today. 101 for us here. Heat advisory from noon to 7. Thankfully, again, we're going to see a nice little cool off heading into the next couple of days, though we do have to get through 2 more days of summer weather before getting to the tropic weather. Brian.
All right. Thank you.